Most people think they're broke because they don't make enough money. While income does matter, it's not the full story. Every year, people earning six figures file for bankruptcy, while others earning average salaries quietly build wealth over time. The difference isn't always how much money comes in, it's what happens after the paycheck hits the bank account. If you've ever wondered why your money seems to disappear every month, this video is for you. Today, we're breaking down the financial habits that quietly keep millions of people stuck. These aren't obvious mistakes like buying a sports car you can't afford. They're small decisions repeated every day until they become your normal. The good news is that habits can be changed, and changing just a few of them can completely change your financial future. The first habit is spending money before giving it a job. Think about payday. For a lot of people, money comes in and immediately starts going out. Food delivery, online shopping, gas station snacks, streaming subscriptions, nights out with friends. None of these purchases feel expensive on their own, but together they slowly drain your income. Most people don't have a spending problem, they have a planning problem. Without a plan, every dollar becomes available to spend. That's why budgeting isn't about restricting yourself, it's about telling your money where to go before it disappears. One simple strategy is called paying yourself first. The moment you get paid, move a percentage into savings before buying anything else. It doesn't have to be hundreds of dollars. Even if it's only $20 a week, you're building a habit that gets stronger over time. The second habit is lifestyle inflation. This is one of the biggest financial traps because it doesn't feel like a mistake. You get a raise at work, so you upgrade your phone, then you upgrade your car, then your apartment. Then your monthly spending quietly increases until you're making more money than ever but somehow still feel broke. Your lifestyle rises as fast as your income. The problem isn't earning more. The problem is increasing your expenses every single time your income grows. Instead, every time you get a raise, try saving or investing at least part of the increase before changing your lifestyle. Future you will be glad you did. The third habit is confusing wants with needs. Companies spend billions of dollars every year learning how to make people buy things they weren't even thinking about 5 minutes earlier. Limited time offers, flash sales, exclusive drops. They create urgency because urgency makes people spend. Before buying something, ask yourself one question. If this wasn't on sale, would I still want it? If the answer is no, you're probably buying the discount instead of the product. That one question alone can save you hundreds of dollars every year. Here's something else people rarely talk about. Building wealth isn't usually about one huge decision. It's about hundreds of small decisions made consistently. Choosing to cook instead of ordering delivery, keeping a phone for another year instead of upgrading, saving before spending, avoiding unnecessary debt. These choices don't feel exciting in the moment, but over the course of 5 or 10 years, they create completely different financial outcomes. Most people are looking for one secret that changes everything. The truth is that financial success is usually boring. It's repeating smart habits long enough that they become automatic. And the next habits are even more dangerous because most people don't realize they're making them until it's already costing them thousands of dollars. The fourth habit is relying on debt to fund your lifestyle. Debt isn't always bad. A mortgage or student loan can be useful when managed responsibly. The problem starts when debt is used to buy things that lose value the moment you own them. Too many people use credit cards to create a lifestyle their income can't support. The purchase only takes a few seconds, but the payments can last for months or even years. $100 spent on a credit card isn't just $100 if you don't pay it off. Interest quietly increases the real cost until you've paid far more than the item was ever worth. Before buying something, ask yourself one simple question. If I had to pay cash today, would I still buy this? If the answer is no, it's probably not worth putting on a credit card either. The fifth habit is not knowing where your money actually goes. Ask the average person how much they spent last month on food, subscriptions, or entertainment, and most won't know. That's the problem. You can't improve what you don't measure. Successful people don't magically control their money better. They simply pay attention to it. Try tracking every dollar you spend for the next 30 days. Not to make yourself feel guilty, but to understand your habits. You'll probably find expenses you completely forgot about. Maybe it's 5 streaming services you barely use. Maybe it's food delivery 3 times a week. Maybe it's random online purchases that seemed harmless in the moment. Small leaks sink big ships. The sixth habit is waiting to save whatever is left over. This is probably one of the biggest financial mistakes people make. At the end of the month, there's usually nothing left. Instead, flip the process. Save first, spend what's left. Even if it's only 5 or 10% of your paycheck, consistency matters more than the amount in the beginning. Building wealth isn't about making one perfect decision. It's about repeating good decisions hundreds of times. The seventh habit is believing that making more money will automatically solve your financial problems. If you can't manage $2,000 a month, there's a good chance you'll struggle managing $5,000 too. Income helps, but habits decide where that money ends up. There are professional athletes who earned millions and still went bankrupt. There are teachers, mechanics, and nurses who quietly became millionaires by living below their means and investing consistently. Money simply magnifies the habits you already have. If you're disciplined with a small income, you'll probably be disciplined with a larger one. If you waste money today, earning more won't magically fix that. The goal shouldn't just be earning more. It should be becoming someone who manages money wisely. That's the habit that creates long-term wealth. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't built by one lucky paycheck. It's built by thousands of smart financial decisions made over years. And the next 3 habits might be the most damaging of them all, because almost everyone does them without realizing it. The 8th habit is spending money to impress other people. This habit has become more common than ever because of social media. Every day, you're surrounded by people showing luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive vacations, and lifestyles that seem perfect. What you don't see are the car payments, the credit card debt, or the financial stress behind many of those posts. Comparison is expensive. The moment you start buying things to keep up with other people, you're giving them control over your financial future. Real wealth usually doesn't look flashy. Many financially successful people drive reliable cars, wear simple clothes, and avoid unnecessary spending because they understand something most people don't. Looking rich and being rich are 2 completely different things. One costs money, the other creates it. Before making a purchase, ask yourself one question. Am I buying this because I genuinely want it, or because I want other people to notice it? That simple question can save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The 9th habit is never investing. Saving money is important, but savings alone rarely build wealth. The money sitting in a regular savings account slowly loses purchasing power because of inflation. That's why many financially successful people eventually begin investing. Not because they enjoy taking risks, because they understand one simple principle. Money should work just as hard as they do. Investing allows your money to grow over time instead of sitting still. The earlier you start, the more time compound growth has to work in your favor. Even small amounts invested consistently over many years can grow into something much larger than most people expect. Waiting for the perfect time usually becomes an excuse for never starting. Learning first is always a smart idea, but eventually knowledge has to turn into action. The 10th and final habit is living without financial goals. Imagine getting into a car and driving without choosing a destination. You'd probably waste a lot of time, fuel, and energy going in random directions. That's exactly how many people manage money. They work hard, they get paid, they spend. Then they repeat the process month after month without any clear target. Financial goals give your money a purpose. Maybe your first goal is saving $1,000. Maybe it's paying off debt. Maybe it's building a 6-month emergency fund. Maybe it's investing your first $10,000. The goal itself matters less than having one. Because when every dollar moves you closer to something meaningful, spending becomes much easier to control. People often think financial freedom comes from one lucky opportunity. In reality, it usually comes from years of consistent habits, small improvements repeated over and over again. One better decision today, another tomorrow, then another next week. Those choices may seem invisible at first, but over time they completely change the direction of your life. Most people aren't one paycheck away from becoming wealthy. They're one habit away from starting the journey, and that habit starts with the next financial decision you make. By now, you've probably noticed something. None of these habits require you to be rich to fix. They don't require a 6-figure salary. They don't require winning the lottery. They require awareness and consistency. That's actually good news, because while you can't always control your paycheck overnight, you can control the decisions you make with the money you already have. Think about where you'll be 5 years from today. The financial choices you make this week could still be affecting your life years from now. Every unnecessary purchase delays a goal. Every dollar you save moves you one step closer to financial freedom. Every smart decision compounds over time. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years because they're focused on what happens in 5 days. Real wealth is built slowly. It isn't exciting. It isn't glamorous. It's waking up every day and making one good financial decision after another. The people who become financially successful usually aren't the smartest people in the room. They're simply the most consistent. They understand that discipline beats motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel excited to save money. Other days you'll want to spend everything you earned. Discipline is what keeps you moving even when motivation disappears. That's why successful people create systems instead of relying on feelings. They automate savings, they track spending, they invest consistently, they remove as many bad decisions as possible before they even have the chance to make them. Another important lesson is learning to be patient. Social media has convinced people that wealth should happen fast. You see someone claiming they became a millionaire in a year. Someone else says they made thousands overnight. While those stories exist, they're the exception, not the rule. For most people, financial success is built over years, not weeks. There's nothing wrong with slow progress. Slow progress is still progress. Saving your first $1,000 matters. Paying off your first credit card matters. Building your emergency fund matters. Learning about investing matters. Those wins may seem small today, but they're building the habits that create much bigger results later. Remember this: financial freedom isn't about buying everything you want. It's about having the freedom to make choices without money controlling your life. It's about sleeping better because you have savings. It's about not panicking every time an unexpected bill shows up. It's about having options. That's what wealth really buys. Not just expensive things. Peace of mind. So as soon as this video ends, don't just move on to the next one. Take 5 minutes and write down one financial habit you're going to change starting today. Not next month, not next year, today. Maybe you'll finally create a budget. Maybe you'll cancel subscriptions you don't use. Maybe you'll start saving $20 a week. Maybe you'll stop buying things just because they're on sale. Whatever it is, make the decision before life distracts you again. Because your future isn't built by one giant moment. It's built by hundreds of small choices that most people ignore. If this video helped you see money differently, subscribe and join us for more videos on personal finance, investing, and building long-term wealth. Remember, your income can change your lifestyle, but your habits can change your life.